Hello everybody out there in the knife world. I'm making this video to thank you all for subscribing and for following this channel. Last night we reached 500 subscribers, and I never figured that we'd make it to 500, but it's exciting nevertheless to make it to 500. The thing that makes all this so interesting is not just the hobby of the knives. I'm sure y'all out there who really enjoy traditional knives will agree with me when I say that really what makes them enjoyable is to be able to talk to other people who enjoy them just like we do. To talk to other people about how they sharpen them, how they use them, what their favorite models are, what their favorite handles are, stories they have behind their different knives. The knives are fun and interesting, but it's really the community, it's the people that enjoy them that really make it worthwhile. And that's my goal and my intentions for this YouTube channel, is to have a channel that looks simply and plainly and honestly at traditional knives, and then have the comments full of people who are talking about their opinions of that knife, why they like this aspect of it, why they don't, why they like this metal, why they don't like that metal, why they like this handle, why they don't like that handle. You know, when it comes to our preferences in knives, it's subjective, and nobody's really right, nobody's really wrong, but it's extremely enjoyable to discuss these things with each other, especially when we can do it in a nice manner and in a nice tone. It's wonderful to have a community of other people out there who have the same hobby you have and enjoy doing the same things that you do. And so I want to thank you all out there who have subscribed and who have liked the videos, and especially those of you out there who have commented and got good conversations going in the comments. That means a lot. And I want to thank you all because we've reached 500 subscribers, and that of course is exciting. You all who've been willing to hang in there and listen to me ramble on about all the piddly different features on knives and all the strange aspects. And so I'm making this video, first off, just to thank you all for subscribing, for liking, and for following, and for all of your comments. The comments mean a lot. The other thing I was wanting to talk about is two particular things. One thing that I enjoy is the experiments with knives to see what you can do with them. Well, we have a good question to ask, and an easy question to answer is, what will a knife blade look like if you cut ham off a bone, slice up an onion, and chop up a whole cabbage head, and then stir it around in the pot for a while in the oil until you get it cooked? Well, this is what your blade will look like if you're ever curious. Because that's what this blade just did. I used this trapper to cut up a whole cabbage head. Now that right there speaks mightily of the humble trapper, don't it? This little knife is able to cut up a whole cabbage head. Now this was a big cabbage head too. It was a large cabbage head. It was probably about the size of my head at least. But I was able to cut right through it, core and all, with this thing. As a matter of fact, I even put the core in the pot. I pulled out the hard parts that wouldn't cook after the rest was done. Nevertheless, that is a good recipe sometime. I really love beans and cornbread, fried potatoes, pickled beets, and that right there is the best meal in the world, in my opinion. If you want to make it even more interesting, all you got to do is take you some oil. I think I used vegetable oil. Just put a little bit in the bottom of a Dutch oven or a big pot, if that'll work too. Put that down in there and cut you some onions up real thin, put down in the bottom there. Cook that up, brown them up real good till they just start to change colors. Then after that, put you in, you can use ham like I did today. You can just use chicken bouillon. Or you can throw, I've put ham juice in there before. Well, my mom calls it ham broth. I've also put Spam in there. Spam's a good thing to cook with your cabbage. Put that in there and get that Spam or that ham browned up a little bit down in there with those onions. And then just chop up a cabbage. Leave it pretty large strips and chunks because it will shrink a lot. Then just put all that right in that pot. Fill it up with water up to the top and let that boil for 35 minutes to an hour until that cabbage is tender and salted and pepper it real good. That is a wonderful meal right there. It's cheap, it's easy to cook, and tastes just wonderful in my opinion. Then you take and fry you some cornbread, put it on your plate cook you up some soup beans, put them right on top, smash those pinto beans down in that cornbread, put you a pickled beet or two right on top, a few slices of onion on top, some fried potatoes on the side, and then put a big blob of that cabbage right there on your plate too. It's a cheap meal, but it'll fill you up and give you energy. That's the kind of food we need to be eating. Nevertheless, this right here, this trapper, it's able to cut up a whole cabbage head and cook it. So that's good. I thought that was kind of interesting. Now that patina right there, I really don't know what colored it up. The blade was a lot smoother. If you look in my other videos, you'll see that I had a smoother patina. It was even smoother than the spay blade here. But somewhere in the process, cutting through that ham and cutting through the onion, which I would have assumed the onion would have made the most patina on this blade, but I went right from the onion to the cabbage almost immediately. So I would have thought that would have wiped off any of the onion juice. So maybe this is cabbage that has helped color this up. Either way, it's got a unique color. And if you ever cut up ham and onions and cabbage, why, that's what you're going to get right there. You're going to get a nice patinaed up blade. So I wanted to mention that because I thought that was cool that a trapper has enough blade to chop up a full head of cabbage and cook it. The other thing I wanted to talk about was this ceramic stone. I have found, and I want y'all's comments and y'all's feelings on this particular topic. I've found that with my chrome vanadium knives, my carbon steel knives, and even my case stainless knives, that I have a lot better success resharpening them. You know, I set my bevel on the knife when I get it. You know, I've got a Lansky clamp, and so you can see I've got an even bevel that goes across that blade there, and I set that bevel. And then I maintain that edge without having to resharpen it unless I use it for something really crazy, like putting out a whole field of potatoes. Nevertheless, in the process, the blade will get dull through everyday tasks. Like if you're chopping up a head of cabbage, you know, cabbage is pretty coarse and it can wear your blade down a little bit. And so if you just need to touch it up, resharpen it a little bit, a lot of people will use a strop, something like this one I got right here. But what I've noticed is it takes a lot of stropping to get the knife blade right back to where I had it. And when I get it to that process, when I get it as sharp as I can with a strop, it's still not quite hair-popping sharp as I like it. And what I've learned from just experimenting and experience is a ceramic stone like this one. This is a 1,000 grit ceramic stone. It's a Lansky. I'll talk about that in a minute. A stone like this, I've found that if I line my, you want to get your bevel just right on there, get your angle right. And once you get your angle right, just lightly pull that blade right down there like that. Do that on one side and then do that on the other. And I've found that that'll take a knife just back to razor sharp in a hurry. I don't know why, but I have found that. And I mean, this knife right here is razor sharp again. And it just takes 2 or 3 strips on a ceramic stone like this. But that's considering, of course, that your bevel is good. You've got a good bevel, you got a good edge on it. But just to hone it up a little bit, just to tune it up, this ceramic stones like these just do great. Now, the reason why I like this Lansky stone is because it's actually a square stone. A lot of times these ceramic stones are rods instead of stones. They're circular instead of square. And what I don't like about that is you're unable to get all the way up to the kick right there when you lay the blade down. If it's round, you're not going to be able to get all the way to the tip. Let me illustrate that with this coloring pencil. Imagine that this right here is your ceramic rod. So you can get close to the edge, but you cannot get all the way to the edge. And so you'll be able to see that on your bevel. But if you have a flat one like this, you can keep that bevel straight. And I want to know y'all's experience. My experience, you can bring one of these traditional knives right back to razor sharp with 2 strips on this. Just a really good way to hone up your edge. And I've found I like it a lot better than stropping. But yeah, this one, I never can get that to focus because it's hard to see in real life. As a matter of fact, it's so hard to see I'm holding it upside down. No wonder I can't see it. I'm not going to be able to get that to focus. But yeah, if you're looking to get one of these, just look up Lansky. I'll read it back here. Lansky 1000 Grit Ultra Fine Stone. Lansky 1000 Grit Ultra Fine Stone. I saw them on Amazon the other day. They're running around $12, $13. Wonderful stone. Wonderful. Good size. Sharpens the knife up great and it works good. So those were a few things that I was wanting to say in this video. First off, just thank you so much for subscribing and for following, for liking, for commenting. All these things mean a lot. Thank you. And I just wanted to say it's neat that I was able to cut up a whole cabbage with a case trapper. And just to mention that I really like this ceramic stone. Y'all comment down below what you think about these ceramic stones, if you have one of them, or how you bring your knife back to a razor's edge once it starts needing tuned up a bit. Thank you. Y'all have a good night. Keep your knife sharp.